News from this morning. The building manager of an apartment building where police were called overnight tell us that a man was trying to get inside the building and then broke a glass door in the process.
We check in live this morning with the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod for the latest. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Jordan and Lisa. This started off as a burglary call to Moorhead Police around 2:50 this morning at the Cardinal Garden Apartments. And after talking to the property manager, he actually informed us that it was more of a domestic dispute. So what we can tell you right now is that the lady was trying to get away from the male this morning. And when she was trying to go through these doors, she was buzzing different apartments trying to ask for help. Now, as she was trying to ask for help, the man was going through this apartment and he actually busted through the entryway, as you can see with my hand going through, also with some shattered glass during the bottom of the door as well. So what we also know is that the officer recognized the people involved and requested a welfare check at the woman's apartment. And of course, if you know more information, you're asked to call Moorhead Police at 218-299-5120 to provide them with the latest information as you know it as well.
Brian Sherrod reporting live on this breaking news. Thank you. Also breaking out of West Fargo this morning. One person was arrested just before midnight after what police say was a short vehicle chase that turned to a foot chase. Dispatchers say the call first came in as a traffic stop.
People living near the Park West Garden Apartment say they saw police shining their flashlights into windows looking for the suspect. After searching, police were able to take one man into custody. Now police say more details will be released on this arrest a little later this morning.
And breaking news on the West Coast. That's where a wildfire is threatening homes in northern Oregon. Take a look at this video.
This was the scene late last night as the fire burned in Wasco County. That fire started earlier in the evening, but by 10 p.m., it was around 500 acres, and that blaze prompted hundreds of evacuations in the surrounding area. Fire crews battled the flames with help from large air tankers and helicopters. Now, the cause of that fire is still unknown.
It's now 10 minutes before 7 o'clock.
Storm Team has issued a First Alert weather
First
day.
Alert Storm Team forecast. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. We are looking at storms yet again returning for the end of a work week this week. It seems to be just our fate this summer, but I do have some good news toward the weekend. So we just have to get through a couple of days here of some tough weather. So here's a look at our risk for today. This is this afternoon, looking up at the timeline here at the top of your screen, starting late afternoon into the evening and overnight is when we're looking at the potential for those storms. And in orange on the map there, that's an enhanced risk. That's about a level 3 out of 5, we'll say, for your risk, and to give you an idea of where we stand. So we're looking at some places that could see numerous severe thunderstorms once they start to form later today. But all of us, even if you're not in that orange area, could see some of those storms and maybe some that are severe. So all modes are possible. We're talking large hail up to 2 inches in diameter, high winds to 75 miles per hour, tornadoes, isolated threat. They're possible here with this round as well. Here's a look outside. This is the First Alert Skycam Network view at the Dakota Magic Casino. You could see it's murky out there. We've got some fog, lots of moisture that's been building in here this morning, and some places really struggling with visibility. It's okay with this view, but there are some spots where it's even lower, and that's Gwinner just to the west. We're at 0 for our visibility report there. Langdon's at about 1/4 of a mile. Valley City's now below a mile. And then over to the east, we've had some drops as well. Wadena's at less than a mile, and Detroit Lakes and Park Rapids about 1.5 miles visibility. So headlights on here this morning in those areas, and it's just so muggy. We've got all that moisture, and that's going to lead to some uncomfortable conditions outside today. Starting out okay, but you'll notice the humidity. Temperatures in the 60s for most right now, and it's quiet for now too on your radar and satellite map. Now, there will be that potential for an isolated storm this afternoon popping up. The greater threat will happen when the front moves through, but we can't rule it out ahead of it. It is going to be rather hot, though, so that oftentimes can prevent storm formation until you get that forcing mechanism like a cold front. Now, here's a look at our hourly planner. We're going to see temperatures on the rise back to near 90 today in Fargo, and expect to have some wind out of the south or southeast continuing to pump in that moisture. We're also going to see some variable cloudiness, more sunshine into the afternoon. And when you factor in those two things, temperatures near 90 and humidity levels that are high, we have to talk about that heat index. And here's a look at what we may be feeling like out there. Some of us getting close to 100, specifically in southeastern North Dakota. So please take this seriously. Stay hydrated. maybe limit your time outdoors during the afternoon hours if you can. Up north, a different story for you, not as bad. That's also where we'll have more cloud cover, and that's where we may see some of those storms form into the afternoon first here for today. Here's a look at that muggy meter. It's going to feel pretty tough out there the next couple of days, especially through the first half of the day Friday, but watch how it just drops back into that more comfortable range just in time for us to head into the weekend. And in fact, it now looks like Saturday is going to be on the dry side. So both days now this weekend looking good. Temperatures getting into the 70s and sunny and dry, and we get a break from the stormy weather. Last weekend was so tough. We deserve a quiet weekend.
No kidding. Thank you, Lisa. A developing story out of Grand Forks. A Good Samaritan saved a pet from a house fire in Grand Forks. Take a look at this picture. It shows the aftermath of a house fire at 1697 South 38th Street yesterday afternoon.
A bystander was able to rescue a family pet from the backyard of that home. Luckily, no one else was there or inside the home at the time, and no one was hurt. Investigators are still working to figure out the cause of that massive fire. It was an emotional sentencing for the man who accidentally started a vehicle fire in a Walmart parking lot in Fridley that killed a 6-year-old girl and badly injured her 9-year-old sister last summer.
Now the girl's mother is wanting justice. Chris Harpsky has more.
A reoccurring question throughout the sentencing. What does justice really look like in this case?
She watched her 6-year-old sister lose everything in the palm of her hand.
It's been 1 year since the fire. Essie McKenzie had just dropped Grandma off early at the airport and ran into Walmart while her daughters slept in the van. Beside them, 70-year-old Roberto Hippolito and his wife in Minnesota, working and living out of their van, left a hot plate unattended. The van caught fire, spreading to the next space. Then 9-year-old Taraji White escaped while trying to save 6-year-old Tyra White, who later died.
We should think about justice for Tyra White not being able to live and breathe again. She couldn't make it to 7 years old.
Taraji, now 10, has scars on her hand and face and a tear in her lung needing constant treatment and the memory of her sister's final moments.
Do what's right, Judge. Please give those amazing girls justice so he will learn to never do that ever again to another family.
This is a tragic event.
The public defender asked what justice, jail, or probation will serve Hippolito, who worked at 70, lives off Social Security now, has no criminal record, and a wife dying of ALS.
I wish that this never happened, and I wish I could do something to fix it.
Ultimately, the judge made a decision.
I'm ordering you to serve 120 days in the Anoka County Jail.
That plus 3 years probation, a punishment that pleased nobody for an accident that affected everybody. Chris Arabsky, KARE 11 News, Anoka.
Hippolito will also get credit for already serving 32 days.
Federal investigators say fake prescription drugs are flooding into Minnesota. The United States Drug Enforcement Administration says Minnesota agents have found around 46,000 counterfeit pills so far just this year.
That's almost 4 times the number found in all of 2019. Investigators say Mexican drug cartels are supplying phony pain pills that are causing a spike in overdose deaths because they contain too much fentanyl.
The DEA says if pills don't come from a pharmacist, you should never take them.
In this morning's Healthier Me, the federal government is taking a $1.5 billion gamble on a COVID-19 vaccine. That's how much is being paid to Moderna to produce and deliver 100 million doses of its potential vaccine. The vaccine is still in clinical trials and has not yet been approved by the FDA. It is already being manufactured, however, so if it is approved, it can be rolled out quickly. The government investment assures the vaccine would be made available at no cost to Americans, though healthcare providers could charge fees for administering it.
New treatment for lung cancers have led to a sharp drop in deaths from the disease. That's according to a new study from the National Cancer Institute. It shows death rates for non-small cell lung cancer are declining faster than new diagnoses.
That correlates with FDA approval of several therapies that target genetic changes in tumors and drugs that help the immune system attack the cancer. Men and women from all races have been seeing improvements in survival. Amid the countless tragic stories from the Beirut port explosion that killed at least 170 people, a good story has emerged. One neonatal nurse was working in the maternity wing of a nearby hospital during the explosion, and through the smoke, collapsed ceilings, toppled medical equipment, and broken glass, she was able to rescue 3 preemies. She carried them through the wreckage to safety, walking more than 3 miles to find a safe haven for those babies.
The Masters Golf Tournament, already moved to November 9th through the 15th, will not have any fans in attendance. The event, known to draw large crowds to see the sport's top golfers, will have the players tee off without the gallery watching behind them.
Augusta National Chairman Fred Ridley called the announcement deeply disappointing, but said the most important priority was the health and safety of everyone associated with the Masters Tournament.
President Donald Trump met with educators and parents at the White House yesterday. The subject, opening up schools. The president has made no secret about his push to fully open schools this fall.
The Education Secretary and Kellyanne Conway, the counselor to the president, helped moderate the event. Vice President Pence was also on hand. A panel of teachers, principals, and parents also participated in this discussion.
And we have much more on Back to School here in our area. Just go to the VNL News app and click on that Back to School tab for all of your information. Let's get the answer now to that question of the morning on Facebook. That question today: 39% of men have no idea how to do this properly. We know that list is long, but this one came in at 39%.
I know, I thought we were going to get some mad guys, but guys played along with this too, and I think most guys would agree with this. Iron a shirt, which I joked earlier that Jordan, it's like an inside joke that's not kept between us anymore. Jordan loves to iron everything.
I like to think I'm a master ironer. Yes, I do iron everything. I iron all of my shirts. You can iron tissue paper. You can iron your bills, curtains, pillowcases, you name it, you can iron it.
Sometimes I call him in the afternoon. He's like, I'm just doing a little ironing.
What'd you do on your break today? Went home,
did
some ironing. Didn't you iron yesterday? Yeah, found a sheet I wanted to have a little crisper, so ironed it up. Anyway,
well, good for you.
I think that reveals deeper problems. Anyway, the Today Show in CBS This Morning, it's just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up for you right now on the Fargo CW. Have a safe Thursday, everyone.